How's it, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. If you like, please like and subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is going to be video 6B of my Star Delta forward reverse starter. In this video I'm going to test the control voltage on my contactors and relays, and I've also added an encoder because I want to see when the motor is fully stopped so that I can change direction safely on my Star Delta forward reverse. And you're going to now see why I've hardwired an e-stop. I've also hardwired the MMS or MCB, I call it a manual motor starter, to stop everything if something trips the overload of the main contactor. That must all basically not be dependent on the PLC and the e-stop, obviously, but I've used a normal relay, which is not recommended in a real application. You should use a safety relay, but for what I'm doing here, playing around at home, just doing some stuff like this, the Star Delta starter, it's good enough. So let's jump into it, and thanks for watching. So let's jump into it. What I've got is a 0.37 kilowatt motor, which I'm going to drive from the Star Delta. Obviously it's wired for a VSD at the moment, so I'll still have to change the wiring. Then I've got my encoder to tell me when the motor is stopped so that I can change direction. Here I've got my selector switch 3 position. I'm only using one input, so if it's on, I want to go a certain direction. If it's off, I go the other direction. I've got a start button, stop button, MMS, manual motor starter, or MCB. So if that trips out, it should not allow me to even start from the PLC. Then I've got my forward contactor, reverse contactor, my main contactor with the overload. So if the overload trips out, it should also not be allowed to start even from the PLC. And then I've got my Delta and Star contactor. I've got my 24 volt DC power supply, PLC, and all my relays. I did change these relays to the same type because the one relay failed, and I thought, okay, well, let me just make them all the same. And I've got my e-stop. So let's start testing all this, and we're going to start off with the encoder, which is wired to X0 and X1. You can see it's on, and now I'm going to turn it, and you will see I'm turning it slowly. That's forward, that's reverse. Well, it might work the other way around once I mount it to the motor, but yeah, so that's working. So I just turn it slowly and it will start pulsing X0 and X1. So that's just for me to see when the motor stopped dead, and then I can change over my direction. So that's going to be the selector switch. So if I switch over, let's say I am going to do this. Now it's not coming on, but I know, okay, I want to go a certain direction. If I switch over, okay, X3 switches on, then let's say I want to go reverse. So we'll make it that if X3 is on, I'm going reverse. If it's off, I will go forward. Okay, then we're going to have our start button, which is X4. Then we've got our stop button, which is normally closed, that's X5. So that's if I want to start it and then stop it. Then I've got my MMS. So if that trips out, X10 comes on. but it should also cut off all the commons to my outputs and my relays, and we'll show that just now. Then I've got my, I just need my little screwdriver, which I reset or set the where did I put it now? You see, this is lovely if you're not prepared. I've put it somewhere here. Let's use this to trip it out. I'll use my test lead. I trip it out, so X12 is on now, and if I reset it, it goes off. So yes, trip it out, X12, reset it. Okay, so that works. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to test the relays to see that they switch on the correct contactors. So let's start with the forward relay, and as you can hear, the contactor kicks in and out, and the input from the contactor X12 comes on and off. Okay, now we're going to do the reverse contactor. That kicks in and out, and X13 goes on and off. Now we're going to do the main contactor. That is X14. Then we're going to do the delta contactor. And then we're going to do the star contactor, which is the far right one. And X16 comes on and off. Okay, that's great. So all that works. My e-stop works. That's X7. So if I press it, it goes on. My lamp comes on because that's hardwired. So if I release it, that goes on. It goes off when I press it. And that relay, as you can see, switches on and off. Okay, now we're going to test the outputs. I'm just going to bridge them out from my common of my relays, and we're going to see if that switches on. So let me just hold it there. Yes, that is the forward. Yes. Now let's go reverse. Yes, oops. Now let's go main. Sorry, now let's go main. Yes. Okay, let's go delta. And let's go star. Okay, so that all works. So now we're going to press the e-stop, and then nothing should work. Okay, so let's press this relay. As you can see, that little indicator comes on and off, doesn't switch. So let's do the other one. Nope. Let's do the other one. Nope. So that's exactly what I wanted. So that means all the commons on my relays are disabled. I can release it, and now it should work. Yes. Okay, let's strip out the overload. Now that shouldn't work again. My relay shouldn't work. X12 is on, yeah, or X11, sorry. Yeah, that's X11. Okay, and nothing works. So that's hardwired to stop the relay commons from being able to switch on the contactors. Okay, let's reset that one, and now it should X11 is off. Okay, works. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna strip out the MMS. Let's strip it out. Okay, X10 is on. Now nothing should work. Yeah, indicator comes on there. So you'll see my e-stop relay is still on, but I still cut off the commons to the relays. Okay, so now let's reset that. Extend should go off, and yeah, it works, you can hear it. Okay, now let's do the e-stop and see if that's gonna work. Yeah, everything is not working. Okay, let's just see. Yes, okay, so now we'll press the e-stop and we're gonna bridge out the outputs to the relays to see. Okay, nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens. So yeah, the e-stop is even cutting off the commons to the PLC. Okay, now we're going to release it and we try it again, and maybe just do one. Yeah, yes. Okay, that works. Now let's do the MMS. X10 should be on. Yes, it is. So now the relays shouldn't work. That should also cut it off. Yes. Try the last one. Yes. Okay. Switch it on. X10 is off, and we should have. Okay. Now let's strip out the overload, because that should also stop the PLC outputs. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, nothing there. Okay, perfect. And let's reset it. X11 goes off, and now everything should work again. Okay, that's how I hardwire it to just stop the PLC from being able to give an output to the relay, and also I cut off the commons from the relay so that they cannot switch on the coils of the contactors. Obviously my wiring, I'm not wiring to get any points here, it's just stuff I play with, so obviously it doesn't look neat, and it's gonna get worse when I start bringing in the mains. So yeah, that will be on the next video, which will be video 6C. This one is video 6B. So, and that's now where you can see how my hardwired safety on the controls is working. Obviously don't use a normal relay, use a safety relay if you do use it in a real application. If you're playing at home like I do, well, then you use this, or you can use this. But yeah, anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching. Until the next one. Okay, I forgot another thing on my before I went off. The forward and reverse contactors are also interlocked electrically. I wired them to be interlocked, as well as the delta and the star. So the forward, reverse, and delta and star, they are interlocked. This two is interlocked, and those two are interlocked. Now I don't have a mechanical interlock. Usually in a real application you'll use a mechanical interlock in between these contactors, but I've got different brands here, so okay, I didn't put mechanical interlocks, but I did wire electrical interlocks. So basically what that means is if I press the forward, and even if I start the reverse, as you can see, only the forward will stay in until I release the forward, and now the reverse. So if I now press the forward, as you can see, now it doesn't come on. So, and same with the star and delta, or delta and star. I can press the delta, the star won't come in, and if I release, now the star came in. So just an interlock between those two. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to add on. Okay, so hit the like, hit the subscribe, and thank you very much.